What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And we got a trade. The trade that many of us were expecting or thought may be coming down the pipeline finally happened. The Chicago Bears have traded a linebacker, Roquan Smith, to the Baltimore Ravens for a second rounder and a fifth rounder. Now, this is going to be much less than some people were thinking, a compensation that we could have gotten for Roquan Smith. Unfortunately, when you look at the fact of knowing that he wants to be paid sooner rather than later, the fact that while he does lead the league in tackles, or at least did coming into last Sunday, it's the writing was kind of on the wall with this. Chicago didn't want to go through the whole franchise tagging him and extending it and doing all that type of things. Unfortunately, they weren't able to work out a deal. We do know that GM Ryan Poles did say that he was hopeful that the goal was to keep Roquan Smith in a Chicago Bears uniform. But unfortunately, as much as I said Robert Quinn. I'm sorry, Roquan. As much as Roquan has meant to the Chicago Bears, and has been a solid piece for us for years and years to come. And I was hoping that Roquan would be a Bear for a long time, but it looks like both picks are going to be in 2023. So we're getting a second rounder and a fifth round pick in 2023 from the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for Roquan Smith. That's bananas. And let me know down below how you guys feel. Do you feel like the Bears should have got more, could have gotten more? Whatever you think there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take some time to process this. Really take a look at what other draft picks we have. The fact that they aren't until 2020. 2023. This time has flown by. So this adds more to our draft compensation. In just this upcoming draft, we know that the Bears we're going to have to add a lot of pieces to this team. They have a lot of spots to fill. They got a lot of progression to do. And while it sucks, and I know people are saying, and rightfully so, have the mindset of you hold on to the talent you have now, but considering what Roquan wanted to get paid, considering that it didn't seem like him and Bears have made any leeway on working towards a deal, listen, I'm disappointed in the compensation. I hope that we could have gotten more back for him. Personally, I was hoping for a first and maybe another late pick. But at the end of the day, the Bears are stacking up the draft picks. They are stacking it, loading it up, trying to give themselves as many chances to draft some impact players. And while, yes, it's going to be the chances of you drafting the next Roquan Smith, it's very rare, right? It's very rare we're going to get that. But again, in the totality of how many positions that they need, how many weapons that we hope to add, and the focus is, as good as the defense has been, as solid as the defense has been outside of that Dallas Cowboys game, they have enough pieces on the defense. They are trying to add and get some weapons in here. They need to revamp that offensive line. There's tons of things that this team needs to do to really get back or get to the place of hopefully being able to be a contender at some point. And maybe Roquan just didn't fit that timeline. Again, not excusing it. I wanted them to get more, but at the end of the day, considering all things, the contract woes, the extension that's coming up, the lack of meaningful production this season. Yes, he leads the NFL in tackles, but he hasn't really made the impact plays according to what he wants to get paid. This is all contingent upon what Roquan wants to get paid. And does he now take less going to a team like the Baltimore Ravens? Does that type of thing happen? We'll continue to monitor it. But at the end of the day, the Bears were where they were. We are where we are as far as where we sit and how good of a team we are. And yes, we get worse by trading away Roquan Smith, especially this season. But adding as many bites on the apple as we can get to really try to bring in some impact players to this team where we need a talent infusion for this team. Sometimes you got to crack a couple of eggs to make an omelet, and hopefully this ends up paying off for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. But let me know what you guys think about everything down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? It makes sense now that Eddie Jackson was moved to be a permanent captain. Man, Roquan Smith is no longer a Chicago Bear. That's wild. Let me know what you think about everything down below. Make sure you're following the show at Chi Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, the number to do so is 773-242-9336 for our mailbag episodes. You can sound off on this very topic. We may even have an emergency live stream later on tonight breaking down this trade. Make sure you're tuned in with us and like to end everything on Bear Down, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.